The Canon EOS R6 Mark II versus the EOS R6. Could this be a new beginning? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning. So good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a photo day. We're going to be talking about Canon and the EOS R6 Mark II. That should be announced tomorrow. We've been waiting for this for a while, and I haven't been speculating too much about it and getting into the rumor mill too deep. And the reason being is we really didn't have anything substantial. It was a lot of this and that and maybe so and maybe not, and there wasn't a lot of solidity there. So I didn't want to get into it too deep. But now that we're only about 24 hours out, well, we're pretty solid at this point. And there's a couple of questions I have for you guys. And I have a feeling things are going to change a little bit. Now, can it actually be a new beginning for the Canon EOS line? It could be, and I'll get into that before the end of this video. But before we get rolling, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. They are 100% free. Now, let's just look at the camera itself. The megapixels on this camera is 24 megapixels. So the sensor is different. The predecessor had a 20 megapixel sensor, whereas the new EOS R6 Mark II has a 24 megapixel sensor. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that sensor in a little bit. They're stating that it does have dual pixel RAW, as well as raw burst, let's call it, as well as dual pixel CMOS sensor, the autofocusing system. Now, Canon has been using that autofocus system, dual pixel AF, for probably a decade. It's been a long time. It is tried and true. It does an amazing job, let's say, at holding focus and not doing that like in and out kind of stuff. But as of today, I would have to say that Sony's AF system is probably as good as dual pixel AF. Now, we've been hearing down the grapevine that Canon's coming out with a new autofocusing system. Will it be in this camera? We'll talk about that in just a second. Now, it will also have the same type of subject tracking like the predecessor did, which would be that people tracking and animal tracking and UFO tracking and deep learning, you know, the AI stuff. So it's going to be the same type of thing, but we don't know the speed in which it will do this. And speed is going to be a major difference, I believe, between the predecessor and this new camera. But also, I'll get into that in just a second. Now, it will have image stabilization built into it, IBIS, which of course it would. Now, they did say that it was going to have a digital teleconverter like built into it. And to me, I hope not, because you know what digital zoom looks like. It's hokey. It's just complete trash. You really don't want digital zoom ever, right? Don't ever use it. So if it has that in here, I just don't understand the use case for it. Maybe they're doing something with it. I really don't know, but they say that they're going to have it. Now, the R6 Mark II will be able to shoot 12 FPS. So that is identical to what we saw with the Mark I. The only thing that we don't know is what it will do electronic shutter. Its predecessor did 20 frames per second. Will this be able to do more? Maybe 25, 30, maybe even 40 frames per second. Once again, that's going to have to do with what processor is in this unit. Is it going to be the same or not? It is stated that it will be able to do 4K, 24p, 25p, 30p with no crop. But just like its predecessor, they're stating that it will have a crop, a slight crop. I believe 1.1x crop when it comes to 50p or 60p. Now, is that the case? We're not 100% sure as of yet. I would like to see 4K, 50p, or 60p with absolutely no crop. Will they do it? Time will tell. Now, it will do a 1080 at 120 frames per second. I would like to have seen that at 240. That's still a possibility because, once again, we don't have all of the specs. And we've heard that there is some outstanding specs that might really elevate this camera to the next level. We'll have to see about that. Now, it will do 10-bit 422 Canon log 3, as well as HDR, PQ. So this is good. When we have the ability to shoot RAW, it's always wise to do so. Why? Well, in post-production, you can grade your footage after the fact, meaning you'll be able to pull out a lot more dynamic range. And that's what a lot of us are looking for today. Megapixel war that we used to see years ago, that megapixel war is pretty much dead. At this point, we're looking for dynamic range, how good is the camera in low light, this type of thing. Now, a few other things that they stated was cloud raw processing. Not too much of a big deal there. Also, it's going to, of course, take the RF glass as well as RFS glass, and it will have dual SD card slots. They also said that the form factor is going to remain the same, or basically the same. So we're not going to see a difference, let's say, in size or shape. It's just going to be the next iteration. I think a lot that's going to change between the R6 Mark I and the Mark II is internals, is going to be the engine inside. Now, according to the rumor mill, some of these changes that haven't been listed as of yet are really going to elevate this camera and kind of maybe give Canon's lineup, their EOS lineup, a new beginning of sorts. And I was thinking about that and speculating, well, since we know that this is going to be a 24 megapixel sensor, is this sensor going to be the same sensor that is used in the Canon EOS R3, which is a 24 megapixel, I think it's 24.1 megapixel BSI, or backside illuminated sensor? Will this have that same sensor in it? Now, that is a big thing if it does. We do know that the megapixels are the same, so it's possible that they're using that sensor. And we can only be hopeful. But it would definitely change a lot, because with a BSI sensor, you're going to end up with much better low light performance, a wider ISO range, as well as better dynamic range and better color, more accurate color. And a BSI sensor will also provide a faster readout. Now, a faster readout is important for a lot of things. Number one, rolling shutter, right? That jello effect when you're taking video and you take a look at someone swinging a golf club, for example, and it's all bent. Or if you look at the prop of an airplane and it looks like it's made out of taffy, that is rolling shutter. So a BSI sensor will help a lot with that. Also, having that faster readout, read and write, means that you'll be able to push that data through to the card faster, meaning that you'll be able to get more raw images per burst before the camera has to just stall and start offloading those images. So there are a lot of benefits if Canon decides to go with that BSI sensor, that same 24.1 megapixel sensor that we see in the Canon EOS R3. Will they do it? I don't know. Obviously, they don't want to tread on the R3, so there has to be some type of limitations. Now, I was telling you about maybe things are changing in the engine itself. Maybe the processor is also changing. So instead of having a Digix 10 or X processor, maybe they have a Digix 11. And in that case, even if it doesn't have the BSI sensor, it can definitely have faster read and write speeds, and most likely quicker, more accurate AF. Now, talking about autofocus, we see that they're saying dual pixel AF is going to be in this camera. Well, if they're able to put, let's say, that BSI sensor in it and maybe a Digix 11 processor in it, could this be the very first camera that we see the quad pixel AF that we've been talking about for like the last year plus? It's a possibility. Canon would probably want to test out quad pixel AF on a camera before releasing a Canon EOS R1. It just simply makes sense, just to make sure real world, not test world, but real world, it's actually functioning the way they want before they stick it into their flagship. So it is also a possibility that we might get quad pixel. That would be a game changer also. That would move it probably ahead at that point of Sony's AF, while Sony's AF is fantastic as it is. And we're using a Sony camera right now, and it is tracking me perfectly. If I turn to the left, it tracks my right eye. If I turn to the right, it immediately snaps onto the left eye, because it knows that it needs to track eyes, but it also understands that I want it to track the closest eye. And that's what it does. So we really don't know how it's all going to turn out, but as of tomorrow, November 2nd, we will. Because supposedly Canon will be formally announcing the Canon EOS R6 Mark II then. Now the price tag is going to be right around $2,499 according to rumors. I'm going to say that that's going to be solid. It'll be $2,500. The other question that I have here, and I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that they can extend the record time? We've always seen this horrendous record time of 29, 59, that's it, 30 minutes and the thing shuts off. Now that we have cards that are so large, whereas my Canon on this side, once it hits 29.59, done. I have to hit stop and then record again. It's annoying. So is this something that they can add to the camera? And if it is it something that you would want? Anyways, guys, I want to know your thoughts about this. Is this a camera that is interesting to you? Would you be adding this to your camera stable? Down in the comment area below, let's have this discussion. What do you think about the Canon EOS R6 Mark II? Do you want it? Do you need it? Anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please throw this video a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel as of yet, please do so and click this little button over here. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it. And if you just want to say thank you for my hard work that I put into this channel, there's a little thank you button that YouTube gave us down there. You can click on that. But if you don't want to, that's okay also. Maybe consider becoming a member of the channel. We would love to have you. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for the end of the vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.